What's up guys, ReviewTIJ and welcome to the second episode of my Formula 1 2014 game ideas. Today we're focusing on the online aspect of the game. I've got 7 ideas, so make sure to stay tuned and I hope you enjoy the Val 3 boss hats around S-Drill footage in the background. But anyway, let's go for my 7 ideas for online. So the first one is really small, but Stopman 1998 actually said this, and this links to career mode, but I've put it on the online one anyway. And it's a really small feature, but it's delayed pit stops. And basically what I mean, like in the real Formula 1, the teams sometimes get it wrong with the tyres don't go on the car right. Like I love to put my notes, the teams sometimes get it wrong. It may be annoying in a league when you're fighting for a win, but however, it just adds to the excitement of fighting for the win. And like if you're in a team like Marussia, perhaps your stops might be a bit slower than Red Bull, because it's that sort of aspect to it. Or if you wanted to put it as equal cars, the pit stops will be fine. However, any team can get a pit stop wrong, and I think it would just be really good to add to excitement of a league race, just make it that little bit more realistic, because every league race I've watched, every Formula 1 2013 race I've watched, the pit stop's always something like 3.2 seconds every single time. On a career mode or online, it's a tenth between each other. You might get held up and that's another second, and that's a really good feature. But I think unsafe releases would be a good one as well, because you could get a penalty for unsafe releases, because that would be quite actually fun. And as well, controlling your car in the pit lane. So if you come into the pit box, like on F1 2020, you had to slow down, didn't you? You had to slow down, come into your pit box, then go back out again. I think you really ought to control your car in the pit stops. So say if you do get an unsafe release, you go and you steer your car away from the other car. But I think delayed pit stops would be a really good idea to add to the excitement fight for the win. The second one would really help me, is league mode. It'd be great if they made this just a little feature on the game, and basically it'd show all the standings, and then you just have to only press a button to invite everybody. So, people always say, where's the standings on the website? They can go on the game, access the standings, and then it'd be much better for them. And as I say, you just press a button to invite everybody to the lobby, then it's scheduled, the same settings every week, and then you pick a host out of who is in, and it just makes it a lot easier, because you don't have to go through your friends list and invite everybody. And then if you just invite everybody with a click of a button, that is just fantastic. And league mode would be so much better, because I think that in all aspects, it's more of a specified mode. Custom races can be laugh about race, or it can be a league race. I think that league mode would be much more of a specified area to do league races in, and I think that would be a definitely great feature for league runners like myself. But anyway, the third idea is tell us the true chance of rain. It's actually been a lot more lately. In a few league races lately, I think I was in a was it fast lane? I think it was rough. I can't remember. I'll give just an example, just a bit of a pretend one. Say I was in the Nürburgring. Qualifying, it said no chance of rain. It said no chance of rain for race. So I'd put my dry setup on. I'd go out on the options. Voila, fantastic. You set pole, and then you realise when it comes to the race, it is pouring it down with rain. Now, it's just told you that tomorrow is meant to be 0% chance of rain. And I know that fair enough, it's a good forecast, but surely if it was going to panel it down with rain, surely they'd say like a 33% chance of rain. Because I like the forecast sort of stuff, because I think it would be a bit stupid if they put it exactly the true chance of rain. I mean, I've worded it a little bit wrong. I've just thought to myself, it's worded a little bit wrong, because I don't want the true chance of rain. I want it to be a forecast, but I don't want it to say 0% chance of rain, then on the race day, it's 100% bloody rain. You know what I mean? Let me know what you think about that in the comments. It's quite a controversial feature to talk about. Anyway, 4th out of 7 now, we are going to go onto the servers. The servers have been a massive thing since F1 2010. I believe that F1 2010 had the best servers, and then since we had that, 2011 went worse, then 2012 went even worse, and when you even thought it couldn't get any worse, F1 2013 went diabolical. I don't know if you can remember, but at the start of the game, in a league race, somebody that didn't have Classic Edition had to host. That was a real pain in the backside, because if there was one person that didn't have Classic Classic Edition. They had a crap connection. They had to host, and then everybody had a bad day, and it was terrible. That was fixed in the end, and it came back from time to time. But I know that the connections need to be better. I'll just put it in my notes. GTA 5, I play that a lot now. And I try to invite Stop Matt, let's say, to a lobby, for example, on F1, and it doesn't work. Then I go on GTA, and the lobby's fine. So it must be the service. It can't be the connection, because if it's going to work on one game and it's not going to work on another, that's surely the service, isn't it? That can't be the connection. But anyway, I think the service needs to be improved so much more, and I think the connection to other people. I remember Tim at Marduk, he said when he first got the game, it was impossible to connect to people in England. They just lagged all over the place. So really, what they should do is make it more, and what I've just thought, on sprint mode as well, linking this to sprint mode, I think that it would be a lot better for sprint mode, because there's more there's a more variety of drivers, because I know on sprint mode a lot recently it's only really been English drivers or perhaps French drivers. There's no really across the world, because obviously the connection's so bad they can't put them in sprint mode, and that's a bit of a shame. So people have moaned that there's a shortage of people on sprint mode. There is people on sprint mode, but they're just from other countries, which really they should be able to connect to, because COD, Call of Duty, that no way would that been made successful without the Americans playing it. Okay, we play it a lot. The Americans playing it, the Australians playing it. The big countries in the world. If they didn't play it and only we played it and we couldn't connect to them, we'd have a right crap time. We'd probably turn COD 4 off, and we'd probably have never bought an Call of Duty game again. But that's just an example. So the servers really need to be nailed on the head, and I think they need to go back to the server engine they used for 2010, which I don't have a clue. They might have used the same engine for every year, but it seems very bizarre that the servers have just downgraded in I can't think of the word, but quality, that's it. They've all downgraded in quality since F1 2010. It seems a bit bizarre, but anyway, the servers really need to be perfected. So the 5th of 7 now is going to be Co-op Championship. That's a bit like career mode. There's no live the life sort of thing, but in a Co-op Championship, I don't really think there needs to be. I think that if you have a teammate, I think there needs to be a lot of rivalry between the teammates, and the team being quite worried, and the team just edging towards one driver, like the Mercedes bond at the moment with Hamilton and Rosberg. You could be the best friends on Skype, you go to F1 and you both drive for Mercedes, and you get a bit peeved off at each other because there's that much rivalry. You get a bit pissed off, and Rosberg goes off at Mirabeau, and it all happens again. But anyway, Co-op Championship, I think there needs to be a rival between teammates, and I don't know I think it's 2012 that turned this off. They really need to put split screen Co-op back in, because I played with my dad, I know, when it came out a bit, and I know it sounds a bit sad, but I did play with my dad a bit, and he was going, well, where's the co-op? And that's the really annoying thing, in 2010, I don't think there was a specific co-op, but I think you could play like split screen, and you could add the whole season to the game, which was effectively, a co-op championship, and there is no split screen co-op championships. If you want to play locally, you can't, like, I couldn't play with my dad this year because you have to go race by race, and I can't be asked to do that. So I just thought, well, we'll have a couple of silly races, but that's really disappointing, because I remember, on a nice afternoon, you play co-op championship on split screen. I don't know if you can still, I don't know actually. I don't think you can still do it, but if you can still do it, really apologise. But I know in my history of this one, I don't think you can. Obviously, people have been able to do it on YouTube because they've just gone race by race and updated the standings, like 4-star co-op. Or 6-star co-op last year. But I think that Co-op Championship just needs to be tweaked a little bit more, just because, there needs to be, it's a pretty nice series, I think, for people to do, and it's just a shame if, it's off split screen, because it'd be quite fun having one of your mates around the house, you're both on the webcam, playing split screen, and that'd be quite nice. But the 6th out of 7th one is sprint mode. Now, sprint mode is full. It is full of nasty drivers and drivers that take you off, and just madness. Sprint mode is never going to be the perfection of Formula 1. If you want a good race in F1, join a league. Honestly, join a league. Do not spend your life on sprint mode, because you're just going to get taken out and you'll get that much annoyed. You will rage quit, probably throw your chair at the floor. I know I'm not going to do a road to shore, but you'll probably end up breaking your Xbox because you get that peeved off that you can't even be bothered anymore. And one idea I've had to fix that is to rank drivers. So what Codemasters could do, they can implement something in the game. I don't know how they'd do it, but something, I just had the general idea of saying, having a ranking, how many accidents you've caused, how many penalties you've got. I'll get onto the penalty system in a minute though. How many penalties you've had, and I think I need to balance that, on an average per race, so they can put, all the good drivers together, and then all the crappy drivers, the noobs, not together, and that'll probably sadden into the barrier because he's got absolutely no channel. But I think that really needs to happen for sprint mode, unless you want to just be in a lobby with noobs, and I don't really want that. You could argue that, well, if you got the game 6 months later, you'll be in them with all the noobs, but perhaps there could be like a midpoint for people that have just bought the game, and then, like I say, on average they'll move up to the higher ranks if they do well. But I don't know about that one. That's a bit of a general idea that's just came into my head. It's not a great idea, I don't think. But let me know what you think about that one in the comments, because I think people in the comments could add to that. I don't know. The final point is the penalty system. Now, last year I think it was a lot worse. I think they've definitely improved it this year, but not by that much. I mean, it's still a bit wrong, somebody bashed into you, you get a penalty. That really needs to be changed. They just need to change it, I don't know how they're going to change the penalty system, but what they need to do is actually give the penalty for the driver who bashes you off the track, not the innocent little driver that's trying to take the corner. However, Pastor Maldonado just comes and rage quits and smashes them into the wall. But let's be honest, that's just what noobs do. That's why they're called noobs. But really, noobs is a word for new players, isn't it? But they're just crashathons. I think we'll call them all Maldonados. That's it, because we can't really call them Grosjeans, because Grosjean's a good driver now. But anyway, yeah, the penalty system still needs tweaking very, very slightly. But I don't think it's that much of a problem anymore, because I think I'd rather have better servers and a little bit better of a penalty system, because the servers are probably the biggest thing for me that need changing. The league mode would be fantastic, but that's not essential, and it's definitely not essential to everybody, because I know everybody that plays the game doesn't go in a league. Delayed pit stops, that wouldn't be important, because if you only play sprint mode, but as I say, that could be enhanced to the career mode sort of thing. So if you look at that, that's kind of a career idea as well. The true chance of rain, that's not important for people that don't do leagues. To be fair, most of these are important for people that do league races. Just little things for the league races. Sprint mode, obviously, the drivers, I don't know about that one, because some of the good drivers do like a bit of a noob fest. Co-op championship, I don't think people are really bothering with that, because I don't know how people feel about co-op championship. I might ask on Twitter later even. And the penalty system, I think that's quite a big thing too, but the servers is definitely the biggest thing. If you've got any more ideas, let me know in the comments. That's all I've really got for now. 7 ideas. This has been going for a long time. I've been nattering on for quite a bit. I know the Bottas coverage probably ended a long time ago, but if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you've got any more ideas, please put them in the comments. I've been ReviewTIJ, and I'm out. Thank you for watching.